All right, so we had a really big day. Not a really big day. We've had really big days. We've had a pretty good day today in the market. Overall, our portfolio went up 7% today. We gained about $4,500. The market as a whole, if we're looking at the Dow, and I know you can't see my app on my phone, the Dow went up all of 1%. The Nasdaq went up almost 2. The S&P went up 1%, and we went up 7. So we got some trends to look at today. Important thing, if you traded and listened to what I told you to do last week, then you're a very happy person today. You made a lot of money and you're on the right track. If you haven't done that today, should have done it. You got to listen to me. This isn't just a podcast or a video about, what I'm doing. It's about making you money. Get off the sideline, get in the huddle, get the play, get the ball thrown. Throw yourself the ball, catch the ball, score a touchdown. So we're going to talk about some themes today because even if you missed out, man, there's such an opportunity here. But you want to be looking at the right things where you understand what will happen. So first of all, we're going to talk about betting. Now, it's a big, big thing. People are at home. They don't have much to do. Just the way people are wired, they have to do something. They have to have some excitement. And if they've watched their entire Netflix queue and they've finished Netflix, as somebody wrote recently, you got to do something. So betting's huge. Talk about DraftKings today. Something in the news about DraftKings. See if they put it on here. Oh, they didn't. DraftKings ESPN signed a deal with DraftKings and Caesars Entertainment. By the way, both stocks that I own, to be their betting partner. So with that being said, DraftKings went up 17% today, which is awesome. And we look at Caesars, and that went up another 11% today. So big, big moves. Sports gambling is just going to get bigger as the NBA Finals come closer, although their little woke politics, I think, is going to kill them. The NFL season gets in full gear with fantasy teams and one-day fantasy, and then you're going to have the MLB playoffs starting. Hopefully college basketball, cross your fingers. Because I'm a big North Carolina fan, and that last year was like the worst year ever. It was it was like getting your prison sentence doubled. It was terrible. All right, so with that being said, we'll take a look at some retail stocks. I don't own a ton of retail stocks, but there are some ones that got overly hammered from what they should. Or actually, we'll talk about, I guess we have a couple more betting ones, casino ones. So Golden Entertainment went up 6% today, and Century Casinos went up 6% today. So big, big day on the casinos. Casinos and oil are my two big areas where I have a lot of investment, and I think there's going to be a huge, massive uptick. All right, so into the retail stocks, Red Robin, which really was crazy. I mean, it dropped like 90%, 80s, 90% something. And that being said, it went up 13% today. Now, the last week was a clear out the suckers week. The stock market actually went down a little bit, and our portfolio went down a little bit as well. But realistically, it wasn't based on anything. We've talked about it. All the fundamentals are pointing in the right direction. So you have for high-frequency trading, you have people that chicken out and take their money out because they're not ready for the big game. They're good for preseason. They're good for midweek practice, but they're not good for Monday Night Football. So that one went up 14% today. We'll look at some other, I call them mall stocks. Dave & Buster's. I mean, this is the epitome. Like, if you're going to get COVID, you're going to get in Dave & Buster's. You get COVID in a place that's inside central recycled air, and you're there for a long period of time. You might as well just say Dave & Buster's. Well, that went up basically 12% today. So that's moving in the right direction. I actually don't own Dave & Buster's because I own some other ones. I did own them, but it's a great stock to have. If you haven't bought it yet, I'd still buy it. I'd buy it at this price, but and I still might buy it, but there's a couple moves I want to make within my portfolio to free up some money and reinvest it. All right, so we'll talk about airlines. The non-U.S. airlines had big days today. International Airlines Group, this is a airline conglomerate out of Europe. They own British Airways, I think, was it Ryan Airlines, I think, out of Ireland, Iberia. That went up 8% today, so that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Azul Airlines out of Brazil went up another 8%. I guess it lost 1% in after hours, so we'll call it 7% today. Again, big, big day there. And this has a 67% hold, so I just think that a lot of people don't really understand too much about that stock. International Airlines, 64% buy. All right, move into some other sectors. This is a REIT that I own, had a big day today, Redwood Trust. They do, where is it? Residential lending, business lending, multifamily investments, third-party residential investments. So it's basically, if you look at it, it's like there are some houses in there, but for the most part, they do mortgages for apartment complexes. So it could be small, it could be 4 to 6 units, or it could be 50 units. That's kind of what they do. That went up 6% today, so that was kind of nice. Signet Jewelers, I guess we could put that, we'll slide that over. That's kind of in our mall area as well. Went up 5%. Again, people are getting married. People are going to they have rescheduled weddings. They have to buy their wedding ring. They've been stuck inside. Maybe they knocked up their girlfriend. I don't know. That's actually pretty funny. Maybe they knocked up their girlfriend. Their parents are making them get married, so they have to get a ring. So they're going to go into basically a K Jewelers or something like that, which is owned by Signet Jewelers. But there's definitely money to be made. And then you have people where they weren't really affected by COVID, more of the high end that are probably taking advantage of lower prices and getting some killer jewelry deals. All right, that being said, Redwood Trust, this one does, that's our residential lending we talked about. All right, then we'll move into oil. Oil had a nice day today overall. PBF Energy, they, again, an oil stock, went up 6% today, so that was a beautiful thing. We always like to see spikes like this. And even when it went down, it didn't hold. It was very measured. FANG, which is Diamondback Energy, my favorite stock ticker name for sure, went up another 6% today. 91% buy. This one's actually performed really well. If you're going to look at a stock, this is definitely one worth considering at the very least. New residential investment, they do residential real estate, and they do origination servicing. So they basically do mortgages. They're kind of like Velocity for what we have here. That went up 10% today almost. So mortgages are being made, mortgages are being paid, mortgages are being refinanced. It's a beautiful thing. 89% buy. This one's just an absolute no-brainer. Had I not had Velocity, I probably would have owned this one, but I have Velocity in my portfolio. Can't own all of them. You just got to own all the segments. Penn, Virginia, it's an oil stock as well, went up another 6% today. And this one is basically it's up 138%. So it's on its way to being tripled in performance. So overall, good day in the market today. We're going to take a look at our numbers. So we started out at 77,619.05. We're now close to 82,000. And I actually did this before after hours. So we're actually we're probably eclipsing 82,000 at that point. So all the stocks are doing really good. IBR is a REIT. It's down a little bit. It'll come back. I'm not too worried about it. PBF took a hit along with UCO when the price of oil went down. But again, oil is not going to stay down. It's not in the national interest. You got to keep in mind, we fight wars. And we send our military into strange lands so that we can control the price of oil. And considering that we're the largest oil exporter in the world, the U.S. is the largest net exporter of oil in the world, is not in the president's interest nor the country's interest to have extremely low oil prices. Now, they don't want to have insanely high oil prices, but they're going to manage this oil price. The price is going up. If you have not bought an oil stock, you need to do so. I recommend UCO because it's down more than it should be, and PBF is at a major discount right now. Beyond that, we have XAN, which is a commercial real estate stock. It's going to take a little bit of time to come back. I'm not overly concerned about that, but we're going to have these three stocks moving in the right direction. And then we have GNC, which is our flyer stock a while ago. And for the most part, I'm just not selling it. One, because I don't like taking a loss. And two, I just kind of want to see what happens once they go through bankruptcy. See if they move forward. My guess is they're going to have a buyer. Somebody's going to come in and buy them, and the stock's going to pop. Or I'm going to get stock in that new company. Either way, it's going to work out in the end. So with that being said, high performer overall is Caesars Entertainment. That's our betting stock. Signet Jewelers, I cannot believe that's number 2 at 187. So these have basically tripled. Crestwood Equity is an oil stock. So we basically have casinos, retail, and oil as our top performers. And then, let's see. And then Redwood Trust, which is another real estate stock. And those were the big ones that I bought early on, and they're paying off. PVAC, which is an oil stock. Again, that's the segment that we have. And then Azul Airlines is just about ready to be double So it's kind of crazy that we have a foreign airline in kind of one of the better stocks that we own. All right. So that being said, let's take a look at tomorrow. So overall, pretty flat. We'll see what happens, later on in the night. It's interesting. I read this one, and it talked about DocuSign is cashing in. And it's kind of funny where people aren't going to be signing stocks and documents in person. DocuSign might be one to take a look at. So with that being said, get your stocks in now. Get your prices, get your bases, your cost basis down, because in the coming months you're going to see these prices explode. Buy your stock now, get in, and make a ton of money. If you have any questions, let me know. There's a link to this chart inside the video description, and there is a link to Robinhood. If you don't have a Robinhood account, there's a link in there. You get a free stock. It's a great app to use. So with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.